Hi guys, in today's video we'll be assembling our selfie stick. So we'll go ahead and go to Onshape and open up your selfie stick assembly document. First thing we need to do is fix one of these parts in place so that we cannot move it. So I'm going to go ahead and choose to fix this bottom rod. And if I kind of select it and then do a right click to bring up the menu, you can find fix. And this will make sure that this part does not move. So see if I grab it and try to move it, it's not going to move. Whereas like the other parts, I can still move those around. Alright, so that's our first step. So we're going to next attach this next smaller rod on top of that bigger one. So we're going to use a slider mate to attach the top of this rod to the bottom of the smaller rod. Alright, so go ahead and go to the toolbar and find the slider mate. Once that's selected, we're going to go to the top of our bigger rod and select that. And then I'm just going to change my view so I can see the bottom of this. And I'm attaching that to the bottom of this rod. And that should have done it. Yep, there's two. Those two are now connected using a slider mate. If yours is messed up, it's in the wrong position or upside down, you can always use this arrow here to flip your axis. Alright, so let's go ahead and green check mark that one. And I want you to see that we can now take this and it slides. But notice that sometimes it slides a little bit too far. We don't want this to slide all the way out or all the way out this direction. So we got to give it some limits. So let's go ahead and open up that slider one more time. So double click over here on the left side to open that window back up, and then we'll set some limits to this selfie stick rod. So we'll go 0 on the minimum, and that stick's about 12 inches, so our maximum will go like 11.5. Alright, so set those two limits, maximum and minimum. And let's go ahead and green check mark that one now and go do a check. And make sure that when you slide your rod, it does stop. So it looks like it stopped in the correct spot. And when I pull it out, it doesn't go any further, it's going to stop. So that's what we want. So we do want this to be retractable. We do want it to be able to move up and down. So that looks pretty good right now. To the top of this rod, we're going to add this part that kind of looks like a stirrup. This is the stick adapter. And we're going to set this this edge here to the top of that part. Well, actually, it's going to be this circle there. Alright, so we're going to, for this one, use the fastener mate, or fasten mate, so go ahead and find that on the toolbar. Alright, and we're going to fasten the inside of this part. Alright, so right there is good. And then we're going to fasten that to the top of this rod. Get a better view. Oh wait, not the top. It's going to actually go down here. Alright, and you'll notice that mine kind of went upside down. No problem, I can use this arrow to flip it. There we go. And we can go ahead and green check mark that one. With the fasten mate, that's not going to move. That's kind of like attached there. We won't be able to move it around. Alright, the next part to add to the top of our selfie stick is this one here. That's going to be added to the top of here. So we're going to use a revolute mate. So go over to revolute, and we're going to come over here and make sure that bottom is highlighted. See how that orange highlight there? So click there to select it, and then I'm going to come over to the top of my selfie stick, and let me just rotate this around a little bit so that we can see the inside of there. We just want it on the surface. Oops. So I can get that just right. There we go. So that just the circle on the surface is highlighted. Right click there. There we go. We now have that part attached. I'm just going to go to left view here on my view cube. I just want to show you guys really quickly how the revolve works. You can see right now it's set at 0 degrees. The reason I know that is this blue 0. And if I double click on that 0, if I can get to it, I might need to zoom in a little bit more. Alright, and maybe change that to like 120. You can see that it's actually rotated 120. And then if I go to negative 120, it should rotate in the other direction, or aka 240. I'm going to set that back to 0, straight up. So that can help us to decide like our limits. So we can hit limits over here, and we're going to go from negative 120 to positive 120 on those limits. Let's see, let me hit play. Make sure that does what we want it to do. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Go ahead and green check mark that. We now have that part listed there on top. Oh, and I did forget to mention that if your part is upside down on this last revolute mate that we did, so if it looks like it's the wrong direction, you can always hit this arrow to make it go in the correct direction. And that's for any of your parts. You can do the flip primary axis. Alright, so the next step we're going to do is add our thumb screw. And that's this one here at the bottom. And if you look closely at our selfie stick, you'll see there's this hole that it goes into, and that hole's only on one side. If we flip around to the other side of our selfie stick, there's no hole there. So we're gonna have to make sure that that bolt goes right into that hole there. So for this one, we're gonna use a cylinder mate. So let's go up to cylinder mate, not slider, cylinder. Nope, that's not it either. Oh, there we go. Cylindrical mate. This one actually allows your part to move like a slider and a revolution at the same time. So that twisting motion, that's what we want because this is a screw. So cylindrical mate, and let me see if I can just rotate this so I can see this. Alright, so here's what I want. I kind of want that outer circle there, and make sure that blue axis is pointing outwards. Okay, I'm going to select that, and now I'm going to come up here to my selfie stick, and again that blue axis, make sure that's facing outwards, and I'm just going to put that right there on the surface, that circle on the surface. Alright, and again you can see that that is flipped the wrong way, but like I said, we can always flip it the other way by clicking on this arrow. There we go. And that's what we want there. And right now, we do need to set some limits, because if I were to pull this out, it would come out too far. It would get pulled through. So we're going to set some limits on our Z, up and down. So we're going to go, I believe, -1 because we had to flip, and 0. So I had to use, normally it would be 0 and +1, but since I had to use this arrow to flip it in the opposite direction, that kind of flips our axes as well. Alright, so let's see how this works. I'm just going to hit the, oh yeah, hit the play button to animate. And that's looking pretty good. It looks like it's stopping in the right spot. Alright, so let's green check mark that one. That looks pretty good. Alright, let's go back to my isometric view so I can see all my parts. So these two pieces are what holds your phone. This is like the phone holder. So let's put those two together by connecting, using a slider mate, and we'll connect this end with that end over here. Alright, so let's go ahead and find our slider mate. And I'm just going to choose that one right there. And its corresponding side would be this one here. Notice I'm making sure that the blues are pointing in the same direction. Alright, there we are. This looks like a good connection. I just got to set some limits now. So I'm going to come over to my pop-up menu, hit limits, and how far do I want this sliding? Minimum of 0, and the length of this rod is about 1.5 inches, but I'm going to use a little less than that. I'll go 1.25 inches. Let me hit play and see how that looks. Ooh, that might be too far. Oh, there it went. Okay, that was better. The first time I hit play, it went like all the way in. Alright, so yeah, that looks pretty good. I'm going to green check mark that one. That part is now connected. Alright, so our next step is to attach the pin assembly to our phone holder. So those are these other two parts. So let's put these two pieces together as our next step. Let's see, so we'll use a fasten mate for this one. So let's find the fastened mate. And we're going to fasten kind of like the bottom of this guy. Yeah, just like that. To, so I gotta flip this so we can see the bottom side. We're gonna fasten it right to there. Yeah, that there's good. On the surface, and there we are. That's what we want. And again, if yours came in upside down, use that arrow. And since this is fastened, there are no limits. This is just going to stay in place. It's not going to move. Okay, let's green check mark that one. Alright, so now we need to take this entire thing and attach it to the phone holder. So let me grab it and move it a little closer to my phone holder. And go back to my isometric view. Alright, so this guy is going to be attached to this plate, this front plate right here. Alright, so again we'll use the fastened mate. And we're going to select here the bottom, alright, the bottom surface, not the top surface, but towards the bottom. And we want to attach that here. Yeah, looks good. And it looks like mine came in upside down, so I had to use that arrow. There we go. Want it to be sticking out just a bit there. Wait a minute, did I miss? Oh, I did. I missed that guy. So let me undo this. Alright, so let's try that again. This fastened mate. Alright, maybe I gotta select both of them. So the circle in the middle, and then the outer portion as well. Let me try that, and then come back over here. And that's gonna get attached right there. Flip it. No, it's not bringing in. It's not bringing that part in. Let me see what is going on here. Let me see if I can play with this a little bit. I'm expecting both of these parts to come over when I do a fastened mate, but I don't know. If it doesn't work, then we'll have to maybe just do a separate fastener. Alright, so that's fine. I'm going to go ahead and green check mark that one. And since it did bring it. When I hit the green check mark, it brought it over. Okay. I guess I had to hit the green check mark. It was leaving behind the screw. It was only bringing over the plate. So I guess it worked out anyway. Alright, that's fine. That's exactly what I like there. So far, so good. Our last step is going to be to attach our phone holder to the top of our selfie stick. We'll use another fastened mate for this. So grab the fastened mate and we're going to fasten, let's see, this part here, the top of that cylinder, to the top of our selfie stick. So we get to the top of the selfie stick. And we want that to be, you kind of have to zoom in to get to the middle of this box here. Make sure that blue line's facing up. Oh, and see, looks like it might be upside down. Is it? Okay, yeah, there we go. So we want that pointing up. All right, green check mark it, and it'll bring in the rest of the shape like it did the last time. And that's most of the selfie stick. And I should have pointed this out earlier, but I found out a way that if you don't have a mouse to zoom in, you can do a zoom to window, which is located over here. And I noticed that some students, as I was walking by, they found this feature. And I never knew it was here because I've always used a mouse. So if you hit zoom to window, then you can like draw a box around the part you want to zoom in on, and it'll zoom you in. So that's kind of a nice feature. Alright, so your selfie stick is now done. You can try playing with it and making sure it works properly. Make sure that you can move this up and down, that you can grab the top and rotate it side to side. Alright, so kind of nice and realistic. Alright, there you go. You can turn in for me, let's say different positions of your selfie stick. So let's do like three snips of your selfie stick in various positions. So maybe a snip of this position here, and then maybe one where you pulled it outwards and maybe rotate this forward. There could be another picture, and then I don't know, a third picture where, gosh, maybe it's just all straight. Alright, just so that I know that you were able to complete all the components. Oh, I know what the third picture could be. Maybe of your screw, either in or out. Let's see. So we can pull the screw out, we can pull it in. So maybe you could do your third picture with that one. Alright guys, have fun with it. We'll see you all soon.